What is up, you sexy and gorgeous creature? Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. So today, we are talking about a boundary that nobody out there, at least very few people, let's not say nobody, that's too broad a statement, very few people are talking about. So most of the conversation happening right now around boundaries, it's all about how are you going to protect yourself using healthy boundaries so that your relationships are healthier, so that you're not tolerating things that you should not tolerate in relationships, so that you know how and when to say no thank you to behaviors from other people that are not okay. Beautiful work. Do that work. There are some wonderful people out there talking about that type of boundary. And there's another type of boundary that is so incredibly important, and we're not talking about it a ton. This is the containing boundary, the boundary that actually protects the rest of the world from you. And this is so essential if you're going to be in partnership, because it is true that you need the other kind of boundaries, the boundaries that keep things out and allow you to say no to certain things that you do not want, and to plan how you're going to behave if your partner does something that you do not like and will not tolerate. Like, all of that's beautiful. But then there's also what you need to do in order to stop yourself from behaving in ways that could be hurtful to the people around you or even hurtful to yourself. So often we are conditioned through our history, through our patterns, to do things that we know are not great, and yet it's hard to stop. That's where the containing boundary comes in. And so this is what we're diving into. We're diving into the containing boundary and how to protect others from you. Before we go there, I want to just explain why this is so necessary. It is necessary to protect others from you because there are parts of you that are always going to be interested in taking care of you first. That is, neurologically speaking, essential that there's going to be parts of you that are always interested in taking care of you. If we did not have those parts, I don't know, maybe this world would be incredibly altruistic, but maybe we also would not have survived. Who knows? Can't say. This is just how our brain is evolved. But there are parts of you, there are not only brain structures, but like neural networks that are only interested in taking care of you. And they don't actually care about your partner. They don't care about your partner's feelings. They don't care about your partner's boundaries or requests or any of that. Their only interest is in taking care of you. And sometimes those parts might show up in aggressive ways that are yelling or demeaning or really judgmental or agendaed towards your partner. And sometimes those parts might show up as incredibly needy, asking a bunch of questions, maybe interrogating your partner at times, maybe going into places where you really try and get something from your partner and man, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not helpful right now, but you can't seem to stop yourself. All of those different ways of trying to help yourself in relationship, I think of them as just conditioning that used to be adaptive at some point and is now no longer adaptive, and instead it's causing problems for you and your partner. All of that could be helped by exercising your containing boundary. So what exactly is a containing boundary? A containing boundary is something that you do. I personally think it is a good idea to have something physical that you do that slows you down, and then you come into relationship with whatever part of your nervous system is trying to protect you in that moment, and you soothe it. And then you have some kind of step. We'll talk about what the steps could potentially be in order to take care of yourself and not let your nervous system seep out and hurt the people around you. What does this actually look like in real time? In real time, what this looks like, at least in my nervous system, so I always put my hands on my heart, I take a deep breath. That's the physical part of it, of my containing boundary. And then the mental, internal part would be turning towards whatever voice inside is trying to help me and meeting it with love and kindness and understanding, and then choosing to do something different. So let me give you a real example. When I first started exercising containing boundaries, it was for physical violence, actually. So 15 years ago in my history, I was either in violent relationships where my partners were the ones who were being physically and verbally abusive, or I would get with nice partners and then I'd be the one who was physically and verbally abusive. And so when I first started exercising the containing boundary, it was to stop that. And so what it would look like is hands on my heart, taking a deep breath, turning towards the part of me that wanted to throw something. And inside saying, yeah, I see you're so scared and angry because you think that your partner's going to leave you right now. And I know that you want to let that out and show them how upset you are and how terrifying it is to imagine them leaving. I'm not going to let you do that. That's containing it. And then the next step is having some kind of plan of what you will do instead. Back then, my plan was just to say, I need a timeout. I am not okay. I will be back in 20 minutes. Nowadays, my containing boundary looks different. I don't have the same impulses to be violent that I did back then. And so now a containing boundary for me looks more like, I really want my partner to be affectionate. That would be something that could happen, where I really want my partner to be affectionate, whether it's like physical affection or telling me nice things or showing up with acts of service. And a part of me wants to come out and be mean to them about the fact that they're not meeting my needs. And so when I notice a voice inside that wants to be a little bit contemptuous to the other person, like, you just don't know how to be a good partner, that kind of thing. What I do is I put my hands on my heart, I take a deep breath, I turn towards that voice and I go, yeah, you really want something from them and they're not available for it. And you're pissed. You are angry. I see you. I love you. I got you. I'm not going to let you talk to them like that. And then usually I just, at this point, kind of transition into something that would be kinder to say, whether it's a vulnerable share, like, I'm really noticing that I'm craving a lot of attention right now. I don't know if you're available for that, but it's something I'd like. Or just taking care of myself, going and getting a massage or going and using a foam roller, that kind of thing. All of this is to say, when you start exercising the containing boundary, it's going to look different for you. People that I've met have done all kinds of things where I do this on my heart. Some people I know, they feel their feet on the ground. Some people I know, they actually have words that they say to themselves. One person says, remember who you are. And when they say that, they mean like, remember your deepest, integrated, loving self, your most compassionate self. So your stop, your reminder to pause could be anything that calls you back into a more regulated state. And then you just do the internal witnessing of what's going on, that I'm wanting to be aggressive, or it's not always aggressive. I'm thinking about my own nervous system because I can be pretty aggressive in relationship, or at least I have been. But sometimes it can look really clingy, or sometimes it can look like getting super overwhelmed in order to get your way. And this is usually very unconscious. The parts of us that are acting out, we don't often have much control over them until you start witnessing what's actually going on here. Why is it that every time my partner says something I don't like, I burst into tears and I become just a puddle hoping they're going to take care of me? Like, these are the things to begin looking at inside of yourself. I'm not saying it's bad or wrong. I'm saying, are you interested in being more regulated? Here are some skills that you could use in order to do that. And when you do, not only will your nervous system find more safety and calm and soothing, but your relationship can actually reach new levels of connection and intimacy, because you trust each other to take care of yourselves, and you can trust each other to show up as the best version of yourself and present with as much love and care and compassion for the other person, empathy too, that you possibly can. So, if you are interested in learning all about containing boundaries and 3 other kinds of boundaries that are self-protective, check out my course, Boundaries, Create Your Peace. And what you'll learn in that course is 4 different ways to really take care of yourself. And if you liked this video, remember to subscribe to Practice Intimacy for more content like this. Like this video, send it to your people. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.